Hello, everyone. Blue Star Saber here once again to discuss another Loki episode, which I'm leaving it quite off the mark as it's just probably just a few hours away of the next Loki one premiering, depending on what time it is in the country. Granted, I was supposed to have a stream with Lucky Chi today about something entirely different, but he's busy and that's going to be saved for the weekend. I also have some other things planned with him on a Saturday, but it'll be a Sunday. But yeah. No, granted, I'll make no such promises just in case something comes up. But yes, anyway, Loki episode 2 before episode 3 comes out. Anyway, so the episode begins in what appears to be like a medieval time period. But instead, it ends up being 1985 Waukesha, Wisconsin, where they seem to be having some sort of reenactment ritzy thing, where a group of the TVA hunters are going in to try and find the female Loki. Spoiler, sorry. We're trying to find out the variant of Loki. Unfortunately, they end up getting most of the members get killed, except for a hunter called C20, who was possessed by this Loki, and ends up being taken as a hostage. So so then then you have like a Loki sort of messing about with this sort of like digital time thing, time explanation thing, teasing it a bit with knocking it, all that stuff, trying to learn all the rules. So then he's brought along with I'm trying to think of what Hunter B-15 and Mobius, I believe. To go and investigate. Loki ends up stalling for time and trying to make a false lie about about what this alternative Loki's doing, and trying to get closer to the the time masters or timekeepers and all that stuff. However, Mobius isn't falling for it, and so the mission's a bust, mostly due to him, which does not get him in good books of Mobius in the good books of Miss Minutes, saying that they had one more chance and stuff. And Mobius, ended up just getting annoyed of Loki just saying about what he actually intends to do and all that stuff. He's just he's either just about why he's here to begin with, kind of saying about how he's either just a scared little child or he's just using Loki for his own benefits and all that kind of stuff. I can't remember the second thing, sorry, I should. But yeah. But because Loki was trying to bargain for his life, then not to be killed off, since after this variant is caught. So anyway, so they're back to they're back to the TVA's headquarters, where Mobius is having Loki go through all the previous files about variants of Loki. I mean, there was a little bit before the going in where they saw all these different variants of where you have Loki with the blue face, Loki wearing some some Hawaiian clothes, and a sort of monster like Loki. That was kind of amusing and all that stuff. But anyway, Loki ends up exploring the library a bit, trying to find out what he can and cannot access, which the librarians were kind of that's classified, particularly where the timekeepers are and all that stuff, the beginning of time, end of time, that kind of stuff. And so eventually he gets clearance to this just normal timeline stuff, or stuff like variants and all that stuff, where Loki ends up learning the destruction of Asgard. Gets a bit, you get a bit of a sad moment with him, but then he deduces a theory that there's no variant activity and all that stuff. So he goes to Mobius by sabotaging his lunch thing, and even there's also a brief that secretary met from the previous episode, by feeling that a variant could do whatever they want to the time stream in an apocalyptic scenario, because everyone is destined to die and it cannot change it and all that stuff. So they test this theory out in Pompeii, in which Mobius wants to try and do it nice and slick, but Loki just went like, "It's the end of the world, everyone!" and all that stuff. So, yeah. Let's see, but yeah, of course, the volcanoes happens and nothing really affects it, so they've got some proof they need. So, Mobius. Let's see. So Mobius and him end up trying to find out where exactly they'll go, but where exactly this Loki would hide. Which, let's see, they do go through all the known apocalypse scenarios, which seems to be very long since that Loki gets a bit tired out and all that stuff. And eventually, let's see, they were using a clue from like a piece of gum from the last mission, which everyone may remember. They discover that it's in 2050 Alabama, where a storm happens, a convenience store, which eventually kills everyone there and all that stuff. So Mobius convinces Miss Minutes to send a Kritzy squad of time of like the time of TVA hunters to apprehend this Loki. Let's see, and she eventually agrees. Let's see. I think you do get this nice little conversation between Loki and, let's see, Mobius about whether or not their fates and destiny can be controlled and all that stuff. Let's see, and why Mobius likes jet skis and all that stuff. So yeah, it's quite interesting. So anyway, let's see, Loki and, let's see, TVA and Hunter, I believe, B-15. Let's see, lead a squad in and all that stuff, which you get Loki drying himself off with his magic. Let's see. Mobius is with like the other time cops and all that stuff, while B Hunter 15 takes Loki along with her because she does not trust his Loki. They come across a guy that's looking for, let's see, plant stores and all that stuff, which Loki says, yeah, that could possibly be him in disguise, which she turns to question him. But ever as the guy touches her, she gets possessed by the variant of Loki. And Loki and her begin to have a talk where Loki sort of reveals that he's actually infiltrated the TVA just so he can get to close to timekeepers, and just so he can, like, take control of them and, control all the time and all that stuff, and offers this Loki to be a lieutenant and stuff. However, this Loki declines as he has much more bigger plans. Meanwhile, let's see, Mobius and the other agents, let's see, are exploring, and with one of them being a bit nasty to one of the residents there, what Mobius isn't quite happy about. It's like, hey, these people who are scared, and they're like, the hunters are like, of course they should be scared. It's the apocalypse, about to die. However, before the argument can continue, one of the other agents finds a distressed Hunter CE-20, who's revealed that she disclosed the timekeeper's location, so they try to hurry back to where Loki and B Hunter 15 are and all that stuff. Let's see, Loki and, let's see, the variant, let's see, who's possessing more and more bodies as she's gone out of B20 to someone called Randy and launched to this sort of like muscled person, I guess, and they start fighting and all that stuff for a bit, seemingly knocking Loki out for a bit. The others eventually find, let's see, B15, and one of the operatives, hunters, assumes that Loki has gone that their Loki has gone AWOL and all that stuff, so they rush to find him and all that stuff. Let's see, Loki eventually, as we see, Loki, the possessing the body of this person, ends up starting to set a bomb and all that stuff, timer thing, as we saw in the security thing earlier. And eventually, the spell on this possessed person deactivates, and then the real Loki ends up, revealing herself to, our endgame Loki to be a female variant of her. To be revealed to be the variant is a female version of Loki and all that stuff. So I'm trying to find out who she's being betrayed by. Hold on a sec. Miss Mobius. I should notice that Miss. All right, hold on. Loki. guest stars. Hold on, let me just. I'm looking at the wiki page to try and find it, but it's proving to be a. Oh yeah. Let's see. Okay, I'm just clicking on the actual page of this Loki, and she's being portrayed by Sophia Dia Manito, who. Let's see. Hold on a second. I'm just trying to find out. Let's see. An English actress with an Italian descent. Okay, that's interesting. And she's mostly been appearing in quite a few TV shows from the looks of it. None on which I have watched, so that's probably why I do not know that much about this actress, though. Let's see. Though, for those who might know, some of her famous roles are like she's mostly played as guest stars, I guess, from like shows like Doctors, Heartbeat, Spooks, Code 19, Survivors, Casualty, Boy Meets Girl, Friday Night Dinner. Oh, she appeared in an episode of Midsomer Murders. And apparently she appears in the Dark Universe as Eva. Okay, so that's a film. So yeah, okay. So yeah, this Loki core, let's see, sets off all these sort of like time variant devices and all that stuff. Let's see. So she's all the time reset charges in various location points along, like, sacred timeline, causing numerous new branches and numerous new branches breached of timelines, throwing the TVA to a disarray as Miss Minutes tries to then take off her time stuff. I think her time weapon thing, and tries to. Let's see, walks to who knows where. I assume the location where she just sent the hunters and Loki to. So the female Loki opens a portal to teleport out. Loki is going back and is thinking whether or not to go through and find and join her or not, as Morbius, B Hunter 15, and this other time agent try to catch up to Loki and Morbius trying to tell him to stay where he is. However, Loki decides to follow this female variant of himself into the time door and all that stuff, into the teleporter, and disappears along with her, ending the episode on a cliffhanger. Now I have to admit, this was an episode and possibly the best cliffhanger I've seen in an MCU show so far. Even better than any of the cliffhangers you could have gotten in WandaVision and all that stuff. So yeah, but before that, I kind of like how the episode at the beginning fools you into thinking you've gone back to the past, but instead it's in a reenactment area with one of the people saying to the time hunters and all that stuff, it's like, "You're not dressed right, you ruin this for the others." And she's like, "I need this." So granted, I wasn't really fond of I feel like maybe the I Need a Hero music was played a bit too loud when the action scene was going on at the beginning, when Loki was possessing one of this hunter called C20 to thinking that she was rescuing a princess or something like that. Do it before doing like a radio show thing to signify that's what the story is and all that stuff. I like how Loki is trying to see what he can and cannot do to trick, the time hunters and all that stuff. And I found it amusing about seeing all those different time variants of Loki, such as the blue. His true form as a frost giant, and we also had that sort of casual Hawaiian shirt one and the sort of monster looking like one, which Loki is a bit puzzled by, about, okay, how did this happen? So yeah, but he's trying to make them think that, oh, this is a very Danish situation, and that he needs to, see the timekeepers, or he needs to be ensured that he's not going to be incinerated just to keep the timeline safe afterwards. However, I like how Morbius does not really fully trust him and realizes he's tricking them, which causes the mission to bust, which makes him lose his patience with Loki and all that stuff, and ends up telling him that that he either sees Loki as a scared child or something that can, use to that's his beneficial advantage and that stuff. But yeah. But he does get some nice bonding moments with Loki, particularly when they discuss jet skis and whether or not everything is determined and all that stuff, like the beginning of time, the end of time, where they sort of talk about philosophy. A bit of philosophy is about whether one is fine just accepting how time is supposed to be run, while Loki prefers the unpredictability of chaos and that stuff, and rather not be everything being predetermined, particularly by the timekeepers. Even questions them whether or not he actually believes in the timekeeper's origins with Mobius and that stuff, which he was thoughts that could be same with you in Asgard, which I like this sort of this conversation and all that stuff. Let's see, one thing I do like is that how you get another emotional moment with Loki when he learns about the destruction of Asgard, though he does casually say, yeah, it was tragic and all that stuff, when talking to Mobius about it, when he was explaining his theory about this Loki hiding out in an apocalypse area and stuff, which he uses to figure out. I like how Loki's used. What happens to his people as deducing. Okay, I know how to find this Loki and all that stuff. And I like how they test it out in Pompeii with Mobius wanting to be very extra careful what they're about to do, but Loki just goes it's the end of the world, and even it's the volcano's erupting, kind of thing. They're from the future, all that kind of crazy stuff. But yeah, it causes now branches in the timeline and that stuff because, well, everyone's dead. So I like how Morbius using his relationship with Miss Minutes, who seems to be they seem to get along for the most part, though Miss Minutes does find Morbius to be a bit of a headache. Morbius does appear to be jealous of her office. That's the stuff that she gets and that stuff. And she kind of gets annoyed how he keeps putting the cup, his a glass cup, on the same place every time, leaving the same marks. but she does trust him enough to find this Mobius, find this variant of Loki, and even approves of the operation to find them in the thing. I do like how B Hunter is forever not trusting this variant of Loki, and just reminds him that he is a variant. And when Mobius was going to give Loki back his knives, she says nope, locks them away in her locker and all that stuff. And even has her kept with Loki all the time, though perhaps she made the big mistake of only going with Loki by herself and should have taken a few more of the guards with them and all that stuff. But I do like how she at least asks Loki, okay, is this a version of you? And he says probably yeah and all that stuff. Oh yeah, and also liked how you had the library woman, or the receptionist or administrator for all the files, just being what you'd technically expect of a no-nonsense librarian. When Loki's trying to ask, hey, can I know the information about this or that, or and she says that's classified, and then it's here you go. And Loki's just oh, terrific. And you see Loki getting various bored with all the different files and searching all that through. Even annoying one of the other people that was looking for the officers and all that stuff when telling them to shh, Loki to shush, and he was shh, back. All that stuff. But I like how Loki ends up talking to the time variant, the variant version of himself, the other variant of him, about how he's trying to infiltrate, the TVA so he can then eventually take control of the timekeepers and that stuff, and control overthrow the timekeepers and, control time and all that stuff, and even tries to offer this Loki to work together by being his lieutenant, because of course Loki wants to be in charge. However, this variant of Loki, sees our Loki as an inferior version and all that stuff, and that she has much bigger plans, which of course is revealed to be sending various time charges to the different locations and points in time, and causing like numerous new branches of timelines, throwing the whole TVA into disarray, and possibly causing like time apocalypse and all that stuff. But yeah, but I find it interesting that one thing I should probably so it's like causing the entire TVA just confusing. I think we see quite a few of the people just like all the people at the office like, we have an emergency and all that stuff. And I think particularly the mustache, this guy in the mustache, trying to like explain what's going on and all that, to like I think one of the higher ups and all that stuff. I can't tell if that mustache guy is one of the same actors that was in WandaVision, because it looks like it to be the case, but I could be wrong. I don't know, the mustache might just be fooling me and all that stuff. But yeah. One thing I do like, one of the ways that they found out which apocalypse this female Loki is hiding in, is the fact that they used the gum from the previous episode to look to a future hurricane in 2050 Alabama, which I'm wondering if this has made anyone in Alabama worried about a hurricane in 2050 now. Though if the MCU gets that right in 29 years, well, people are going to now start wondering if the MCU could predict the future like The Simpsons. Because after all, many say The Simpsons predicted a President Trump. But yeah. And that there'd be a budget crunch. That the country would be broke after him, but U.S. country would be who knows? But yeah. And you've also got all these other different, possible future disasters coming quite close to the, that Mobius and Loki mentioned that. You wonder, wait, could this actually happen since it's so close to our timeline to 2021? But yeah. But yeah, I do like how Mobius tries to be nice to like the doomed residents, even though he knows their fates and all that stuff. But he wants like the hunters to try and be nice and not be like, jerks, because he's showing that there's a sort of difference between Mobius with his compassion and the standard hunters being a bit of a unsympathetic type of cops and all that stuff and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm really liking the armor. Oh yeah, one thing I should probably mention last episode that I forgot to mention is that I really like how they do like the Loki intro, where it's just different letters with like an old-fashioned TV with all these different ways of spelling Loki's name with all these different of the alphabet. Different L's, O's, K's, and I's and all that stuff. So yeah, I do think it doesn't surprise me that the hunters immediately assume that their Loki has gone AWOL. So yeah, which makes it no surprise that but yeah, I do like it. Now granted, I was spoiled about the twist about what this Loki fan actually is on Twitter. Okay, this is what happens when I wait like a week long to watch an episode. So I end up learning that there is, that the Loki is a, female Loki and all that stuff. But I think but either way, if I didn't know this was coming, I'd say it was a very good twist reveal. And I think anyone who has watched the episode, without any spoilers, would probably say the same. And clearly this Loki has ambitions of causing maximum chaos with this, for the TVA, causing like the time chaos thing. And it seems like our Loki is tempted to follow her because Loki's not really good. Because Loki is not exactly the Loki at the end of his life where he seems to finally learn what it means to be good. But I do like how he says he finally understands how Thor got so annoyed with him all these years. But yeah. So it looks like the TVA hunters are mad at him and all that stuff. So Loki decides to go where this female Loki is going. Not sure, probably knowing that he doesn't have the trust of the TVA hunters now. So, given what's just about happened, since this female Loki seems to be 10 steps ahead and all that stuff, so decides to go and follow to see what's what. Now, whether or not he's going to join her in the end is actually joining her for real, or at least seeing what she's planning to do, and then just come back to the time, let's see, to the TVA in the end, and let's see, go back with Morbius, because I do like the bonding that Loki has with Morbius, like I said a bit earlier. And I think Morbius is actually really starting to like this version of Loki, but I'm assuming he's going to get in trouble now since this Loki has gone AWOL, and he's probably in trouble. But yeah, but I have a feeling that Loki will probably end up going back to the TVA because, well, there's going to be a second season of Loki. But if I didn't know that, all that stuff, but I'd say this is definitely a very good cliffhanger, and it makes it, let's see, very curious on what's going to happen next. Granted, I could be wrong. I mean, who knows how they're going to go with this Loki thing, but let's see, I definitely feel like, at the very least, I know that Loki and Mobius's next meeting is not going to be pleasant since Mobius feels like Loki has probably betrayed his trust, even though he probably didn't really trust him at first, but it seems as they didn't get clues of how to find this Loki. It seems like he began to trust him, and now it seems like what Loki has done is probably, ruined his status if the TVA, but who knows. Overall, I give this episode a 10 out of 10. Let's see, good twist at the end. Let's see, it's probably the best cliffhanger of any of the MCU Disney Plus shows I've had. It looks like, let's see, Loki might just become everyone's new favorite MCU TV show, which many people have been saying that is with WandaVision, but Loki could probably give that show a run for its money. I like the characters so far. I like the bonding Loki had with Morbius, the philosophy of whether or not your destiny is predetermined and all that stuff. I like the jokes about the time travel and all that stuff, particularly Loki messing with Pompeii. I like the Loki messing with like this, let's see, holographic clock, all that stuff, and I like how it's the cliffhanger of like, ooh, looks like the time stream is really much in trouble. So yeah, overall, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's episode. Let's see, technically today, I mean, it's gone past midnight in my time, and I really need to go to bed because I've got stuff I need to do. Need to get up very early in the morning. And if my mum ever found out what time I did the stream, I don't think she'd be happy. But yeah, I'm Blue Star Saber signing off.